I'm going to show you an investing strategy right now that you probably had no idea even exists. And there's only one prerequisite, okay? Is you need to have 100 shares at least of a company. Okay, now in this educational example, we're just going to assume, so I can show you the point and how this all works, is we're going to assume we own 100 shares of NVIDIA. So if we own 100 shares of a company, we can actually rent those shares out, right? Think of it like owning a rental property, right? Like you wouldn't own a home and just hope that you can sell it one day for a higher price. Yeah, that's cool, but you would also fill it with a tenant to pay you a rent, right, on a monthly basis. Now, we can kind of do the same thing. I know it's not the technical definition, but I like to explain it like that to my friends because I think a lot of us can understand it a little easier that way. So let me break this down on how this is done. First thing we do is go to the trade options section. I know you hear options, you want to run away, just entertain me, okay? Well, you could do this with any brokerage. I'm just using Robinhood because I know a lot of people on here like it. Now we are brought to the options chain, and this is where we get to select the date that we'd be maybe willing to sell our 100 shares for a price that we choose and collect that rent. Let me show you. In this educational example, I'm simply saying on October 31st, I'm willing to maybe sell my 100 shares for a price that I choose, okay? Then it's very important, right? We have to click sell a call. And obviously at the time of me recording this video, it's gonna look different on your screen. The price of NVIDIA is 176. So we obviously, I think it's obvious at least, but I got to say it, right? Is we want to sell it higher than what we've bought our shares for, right? So let's just assume you own your 100 shares around the current market value of 176. Well, now we can choose a share price that we'd be willing to sell our 100 shares for on October 31st. So for this educational example, I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm willing to part ways with my 100 shares if NVIDIA continues to have an insane rally and is trading at $200 on the 31st. Now, if I do one contract, which is equal to me having 100 shares in my account, really important, make sure you have the asset, right? I would collect $150, just about $149 from an options buyer. That is premium, that is given to me up front. And you can do this if you have hundreds upon hundreds of shares of a company. Like in this example, right? I put 5 contracts. Now, 5 contracts means I have at least 500 shares of NVIDIA. It's a must, okay? That's a prerequisite to doing this strategy, okay? But obviously, this is the reality of the world we live in, guys. The more money you have, right, the more money you can make, right? So if I had 500 shares and I wanted to maybe sell them all for $200, right, on the 31st, right, I would collect just about $744. Now, we got to talk about the risks, guys, because you need to get educated about this strategy before you jump into absolutely anything. Here are the biggest risks of this strategy. Number one, kind of easy one to understand. Let's say the 34th rolls around and NVIDIA is trading under $200. Well, you're not selling your shares.